let's get going, and we're gonna start with the S&P and see what we managed to do yesterday in terms of the space that we're in. And yesterday was an up day. It lifted. The news was as expected for the market. So the market, for this kind of how can I say, predictability, it generally lifts because it's doing what the market is expecting to do. The market doesn't like uncertainty, and what happened yesterday was not uncertain. It was exactly as expected. So the data that came out was as expected. The unemployment claims came down, but again, this is something that the Fed might put on the pandemic, because a lot of people retired during the pandemic. So the fact that unemployment is low and employment is high might be a specific how can I say, a specific development of this recession compared to others in the past. So they might not be waiting for unemployment to come down and unemployment to come up for it to be a recession. So they might be adjusting their rates, taking into account that this follows a pandemic, which is what they've been saying lately. We need more data. We need to understand that COVID had an impact on the supply chain, and things have changed. So we need to adjust to that. So all in all, the market lifted yesterday because the data came out as the market had expected. The market expected for the CPI to stagnate, and it did. So what we have here is the consequence to that. And we have the S&P that lifted above the divergence line, the green divergence line, and it's meeting the daily Bollinger Band here, the top one. Where can we go from here? This is the million-dollar question, because when a move like this happens, it continues up to a point, and there is a point of validation for continuation, and there is a point of invalidation for rejection. So I'm gonna do this for the S&P, because the S&P will move crypto the way if there is no particular crypto scandal stopping it. So what I'm going to do for the S&P, I'm going to do for Ethereum and Bitcoin as well, because the moves right now are daily 12-hour moves in the daily 12-hour space. So of course I'm going to tell you about the 1 hour space, but I'm going to map out the validation and invalidation levels on the daily charts, because we need to know if this is the pivot swing from the bear market or not. And we have our levels to show us when that pivot is going to happen or not. So for the S&P, I have one main level, which is the pink line, and this yellow line, which is the intermediary level, and it's also a strong level of support and resistance. But the invalidation line for the S&P to come out of this drop, so the S&P has been coming down since December 2021, so over a year, and as cycles go for Bitcoin, 1 year is bear, 3 years are bull. So if the S&P is to come out of this, we are gonna go above the pink line, consolidate, and then continue upwards. And this would be going up to level 1, consolidate, and continuation. And this continuation, again, when we meet the previous high is when we have our clear answer, because if the previous high is not taken, then we will have a massive double top structure, and then we're coming back down, and then we're going to start recounting the steps down. So that would be the validation for the S&P going up. Now, I'm looking at the S&P, and the daily stochastic is way up, but it can still stay way up and continue to lift. So again, I know that signals right now are indicating a lift that is coming to an end. However, the trend on the daily for Ethereum and Bitcoin is changed. We are above the 20, we're above the 55, we have crossings, and the same for the S&P. It is above the 20, the midline of the Bollinger, and it is going up, and the regular stochastic still has space, and more importantly, the weekly stochastic still has a lot of space. At the moment, it's just turning up. It was going down, which was what all of this was, and the consolidation for 2 weeks at the bottom, but now it's turning up. So there is still plenty of space to lift, but there will be resets on the 1 hour, of course, where you can get in if you haven't got in at the previous 2 stages of this lift, because I believe there is another stage, at least to the yellow line. Now, in my opinion, the yellow line might be the invalidation of this if it gets rejected, or it might break and hit the pink line and get rejected down. So we have 2 points of rejection to the downside, 2 possible points of rejection to the downside. By the way things are going on the weekly right now, I believe that we might hit the pink line and get rejected there. Again, personally, I don't think we have the macros for a lift out of the bear market. Not with a war, not with an energy crisis, not post-pandemic, not with inflation being so high. So there are a lot of economic reasons to believe we're going to stay in this bear market for a while. However, we need to watch the levels. To me, the levels mean everything, because again, market sentiment can change in a candle. It takes a candle, it can be a 1 hour candle, a 4 hour candle, to change market sentiment. It is that fickle. So we need to see those levels being broken, because those levels being broken means there's enough volume in the market to carry it across those levels. So that's why we need to wait for the moves to show their sustainability. That's as far as I can understand it. So we need to see volume continuing on the up, lifting price action. So basically what we need to see today is Friday finishing on a high. Now Friday's finish is quite important because it will lead us into the weekend, and we have 1 day of continuation in the weekend and the other day of reversal. And we can have reversal on 1 day of the weekend and Monday, and that will lead to a small correction and then continuation if we are to continue to the upside. So that's the S&P. These are the levels that I'm watching. I'm watching in particular today to see how today finishes. If today closes above this divergence line, this is the first time since December 2021 that it's closed above it, and it is a big thing. So if it closes today with a green candle, that's because it closed here with a red one, but it was a pivot. So if we close today with a green candle, a convincing green candle, a higher high, then we have a continuation to the upside. There might be a short-term reversal, and those reversals are great because they allow us to get in on the swing. Okay, now I'm gonna move over to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin. So the first thing that I noticed last night changing in the daily indicators was the MACD waves, which at the moment what we have is a higher wave here. So a higher wave than the previous waves, as it happened here, for instance, or as it happened here, generally indicates continuation. So we have that for Bitcoin. We also have a breaking of the divergence. So it's literally broken out of this massive channel and it's been holding out. And yes, I agree with you, the first 1, 2, 3, 4 candles were miserable. I would not be trading this as a breakout because they look miserable, but the next 2 candles are really impressive. They go past the level of validation of this W, they hold above this level of validation, and I think it will continue to the upside. I think it will continue to the upside. Now there's a big red flag as far as I'm reading the TA on the daily. We have the stochastic maxed out. Now it doesn't stay too long around these levels, and it doesn't come here too often, as you can see, since I'm gonna take where's the start? Where's the start here? 2020. Okay, gonna take the start of this lift here, February 2020, March 2020, just to see how many times it's come up, and to understand how infrequent this is. March 2020. So since March 2020, we've hit it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6, 7, 8, 9 times in less than 2 years, a little bit less than 2 years. So it's not a very, and we've had this lift, all of this massive lift. I think this counts as a parabolic lift. This counts as a parabolic lift. It's been a 17x lift, and this has happened only 9 times, and most of them, of course, happen here in this parabolic lift. Now this is far from being a parabolic swing, as you might see it. This is barely hit from the previous low. This is barely hit 23%, but it could be the turning point, and it does look like it is the turning point. Again, the stochastic on the daily is my red flag for this, indicating that we might head down. Could this be a trap? Absolutely, it could. How do we know? Our closest level of invalidation. We're really lucky where we are right now because we have a close level of validation. So if we hold the 18.3, we're going to continue up to the next level, which is around 21K. If that 21 holds, then the next one is the 2025 level, right about here. So this would be the route upwards. If the 18.3 level holds, if the 18.3 level breaks, and again I would be watching the 4 hour for confirmation. I would not be jumping in straight away, because jumping in straight away right now is a very good recipe to get wrecked, or to lose a lot of money in stop losses, because moves can be explosive, and also if the trend is changing either to the upside or to the downside, we're gonna have a big move down. So after doing this lift here, if we get rejected here, the next target is the 15.8, but reasonably the next target is the 13.8. So no rush getting in on this. All we need to see, if you are looking to short, is the 18.3 level, 18.4 level not holding. Once this level breaks, watch for 2 4-hour candles holding below it, and we will have our confirmation for a downturn. And then with those 2 candles, you can put a fib on them and see where you can get an entry, because there will be a fight. It won't be an immediate descent. And even if you happen to miss, I showed you on this swing down, even if you happen to miss the breaking point here, there will be some 1 hour swings that you can get on and follow it down. But what we need to do is to see that this swing is gonna break its support. If it holds its support, which I anticipate it will, it's gonna go up to 21k. I don't know about 25 at the moment. Personally, I wouldn't trade up to 25, but I would think that the 21k level is within reach. I'll show you the hourly levels. I have adjusted last night the levels to include the new support and resistance. I don't know what perfect. Okay, that was a new thing. Okay, so again, 18.3 is our local level. 20.8, 21k would be the level of support and resistance for the target if this level holds. And it is, we're talking about bigger percentages right now. The moves are going to be bigger. What else did I want to say? We need to be careful because we've had all this swing. So again, maybe this was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with its correction. So these are all 1 hour swings, and it did a 702 correction. And this swing, if this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, it could correct down. So we might see, that's what I'm saying about seeing that confirmation on the 4 hour, having 8 hours below this level, because we might see a flash crash down to the 0.5 below the 18.3. We might see the golden pocket, or we might see the 702 at 17k being back tested, and that would be again very sustainable for the lift. It wouldn't mean and continuation up. So we could have that as a possible 3, 4, 5. So that's, but this correction will happen fast. This correction will not happen over the space of 8 hours. This is going to be a fast correction. All of these were fast corrections. XRP had great examples of very fast corrections done in its swings. So that's why I'm telling you, again, we have increasing volumes. I expect this to continue, but you need to be mindful. Don't go into a trade now, even if it looks like the swing might continue, because this whole lift needs to correct at some point, and I think it should be correcting today/tomorrow. One of these days it will correct before continuing, and when we have that correction and that structure, we will be able to tell more. But I anticipate, considering the volumes are going up, continuation to the upside. We again with correction in the short term. Okay, so just being on the daily chart makes things a little bit more simple to explain. We are between the 15.8 and 18.3 level right now, with a target of 21k to the upside. So if the 18.3 level holds, we are looking to go to the upside to 21k. If the 18.3 level breaks, and it doesn't only break for correction, it's not regained. So you might be asking me, how am I to trade this? Well, there's nothing when you get and again, please wait for New York to open. Also, Fridays are very volatile. They have a spike up and a spike down. I wouldn't personally be trading this Friday. I will let it settle. I will let it settle over the weekend, and I would be looking for a trade on Monday with where we are. But if you are to be looking for a trade, I anticipate this will top out somewhere somewhere around the 19K region today. It's going to come down for a correction around the 17K. It's going to form some structure here. When you see this structure here, take your money from the short. You don't have to follow it down. You don't have to follow it up if you're not comfortable with longing where we are right now, because I wasn't here in this macro. I wasn't comfortable with longing. It looked like a massive trap to me. Take your money from here, let it go up, and when it does the 21K or 20K, 20.8K top, you follow it down. So you have two shorts down, which are quite hefty. You don't have to take all the swings up and down. But if you do want to long it, you can, of course, when you see structure here, you start longing it. You watch for the previous high be broken. If the previous high is broken, you let your trade run. If the previous high is not broken, you take your profit and you wait. And again, I will advise you to wait between your swings now, so that the moves really prove themselves and show you the most important thing that you need when trading, which is the trend. You need to see the trend, and every time frame has a trend, and when one can influence the other, but the daily right now is the dominant one, and it is lifting up. So you can short, but I will be looking for profit to be taken at any double bottom structure. Anyways, that's how you can trade this space. This is the space, and generally it is ranging, and especially after a move like this, generally what it does is it starts ranging. So this was an 18% lift, and generally it starts ranging. Okay. So that's Bitcoin. Again, 18.3K is essential for support. I'm gonna remove this fib just to clear this. I've already posted these last night, and nothing has changed since. It's the same trades. Watch out for that possible reversal down to 17K. Anyways, okay, you know how to read the charts. So now, before I move to Ethereum, I just wanna tell you that today is Friday the 13th. So we do have the consumer sentiment coming out and the inflation expectations at 3 p.m. UK time. So again, this will bring volatility in the market. The way volatility works is you get a spike up, you get a spike down, and then it'll settle for the rest of the day into a trend for the rest of the day, and the way Friday finishes will continue into the weekend and on Monday. So that's how it's gonna be. Now, we are gonna do Ethereum. Ethereum is looking a lot more. Okay, Ethereum is looking a lot stronger on the day than Bitcoin, because we've had this 20 crossing over the 55. However, Ethereum is also looking very overextended in the stochastic, and it's turned down at the moment. So it looks like it's topping out at the moment, but the day is still young. So we have on the 4 hour, still the MA is holding for support. And what we've seen on the 4 hour, and again, the deceiving part of this swing was the no retracement. It didn't give us a retracement for its lift. It just gave us back tests. So, but that makes it quite sustainable. These back tests are as sustainable as the retracement, if you ask me. We will have to make a retracement at some point, because this has a 1, 2, 3. There's no 4 at the moment, but we do have 1, 2, 3 back tests of the 20 after being broken. Sorry, 4 tests of the 20 after being broken here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and they all held. So everything's holding. Again, just like with Bitcoin, we do have a daily level that needs to hold. and that daily level is a little bit farther from price action than Bitcoin's. Can I move this slightly? Do you know what? I'm gonna move this slightly because this is okay. This is truer where it is right now, and I can readjust it if I need to later. So okay. So I moved that level closer because it is closer in this consolidation. I made it a daily level right now. Just got promoted. Made it a daily level because it was too far from where it was. It wouldn't have given us space to understand as traders if the trend is changing. So the daily level is 1330, and this is a biggie because this needs to hold. Of course, it could break below it. There's nothing wrong with breaking below this level as long as it is regained on the next swing. So it could break below it and consolidate because the top of the 1-2 structure here would be 1230. So it could come down and build some structure there and then lift up to 1510. 1510 would be my average target. I've some lines at 1506, some lines at 1513, let's say 1510 to round it off. So that's the this is the level 1330, 1340 on the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour it's a little bit more precise to the upside, and that would be the level 1. 1510 would be level 2, and then 1670 would be level 3 if we are to continue. Of course, the 4 hour is ridiculous in terms of bearish divergences. I have never seen so many bearish divergences. We have a record number of 6 bearish divergences for the moment. This is screaming for a correction, and we might get that correction today and over the weekend, maybe continuing into Monday. And that correction would be a juicy. So even if the trend still continues, it can go below the 20 on the daily. So for instance here, it can go below the 20 on the daily to make that correction and then continue to lift into its swing up move. It could do that, but as the charts are at the moment, it is looking like it is going to continue. We need to be very careful. So even if no trade without a stop loss, even if you are to lose from your stop losses, please put them in, because the moves, if this is a trap, the move down is going to be brutal. So liquidation is quite certain if the 1230 level breaks. I think it is quite certain even in this range, yes, because it is even until 1230. ETH has massive ranges opened right now. So 12%. This will, if you're trying to long from where we are now and it's just going to do a reversal down to do its 3-4, you're going to get liquidated, wiped out. So don't take anything for sure. Anything can happen. And give yourself, understand that these are daily moves right now. So give yourself the space between the trades. These are not 15-minute moves anymore. These are not even 1 hour moves anymore. I am using, and I said it on the chat, and I wanted to mention it to you today, I am using the 1 hour for signals right now, because the trade will be a 4 hour correction. So until that 1 hour gives me that retracement to the up, and a 0.5 would be enough where we are right now, a 0.5 retracement to the up to go into a short, I will not take that trade, because that is the best position I can go in. So I'm using the 1 hour for signal. Even the 1 hour on the vectors is terribly deceiving. Like, we've had reversal vectors here, we've had reversals vectors here, we've had reversal vectors here. So 3 places we've had them, 3 places they went up. So moving to the 15-minute chart is insane, because it will flick up and down and move up and down. And this is the overall space. Again, I'm being quite generous with it because I think this top formation here would be the limit, the 1500, and the 50 on the 4-hour would be the support. So this would be the Friday and the weekend levels, and I'm using the 4-hour MAs right now again because we're outside of 15-minute swings, because the 15-minute swings are the ones that guide us through this consolidation. Now we are playing a longer term game, and here it is. So overall, for both Bitcoin and Ethereum, to me it looks like there will be continuation to the upside. It also looks like they're gonna correct short term, so I am expecting a correction in the coming days. And also the biggest red flag for both is the stochastic on the daily that seems to have topped out. So for me, that is a big red flag, and I will be watching because this could be a very well set up bull trap. So again, it's a necessary rally. It collects liquidity. This could be it. And when this swing proves itself, we might have something like along these lines with a drop and then a continuation. So it looks like it's broken out. It should, let me check this, the 1, 2. It shouldn't be breaking out now. We still need a swing down and we still need a swing up. So we need 3 touches to the top, 3 touches to the bottom. Again, I'm not taking this into account, and that's where my count may be may not be accurate, because in these daily wedges we could have a breakout sooner rather than later. So I would be counting the 3 touches for the 4-hour and the 1-hour, but on the daily the breakout could happen sooner because it consolidates for longer. So what I'm trying to tell you is we have great ranges for both of them. As traders, we will have signals on the 1-hour that will indicate when this tops out. If you are not in a long right now, wait for it to top out. Wait for the 1-hour to top out, because that will be your indication. And then put a fib on that 1-hour swing. It will take about 8 hours to get into a trade on the 1-hour, and it will take about 3 or 4 days for that trade to complete. If you're taking a short for correction, it might correct sooner. It might take 1 or 2 days, really quickly, happen quickly, and then consolidate back above that 1330 or 1340. Let's say 1340 to be on the cautious side. You can never be wrong with being on the cautious side when it comes to levels. You'd rather have your stronger confirmation than a weaker confirmation. And then for Bitcoin, it's the 18.3. So that's how I'm looking to trade this. I traded the Bitcoin lift. I did 3 trades in Bitcoin. I traded the Bitcoin lift from the 702 last week. Where was it? I think it was here. Yes, because it was Friday. There we go. So I traded this lift here from 16.6 to 17.3, right about there. That was one of the trades that we had last week. And then I tried to get into 2 shorts, and for the moment I paid a 20% price. So this gave me the 702 entry, and for the lift 17.3, it was about a 40% trade. So at the moment I made just 20% profit from this, which I'm not happy about it. You can hear it in my voice. I wish I had trusted more this lift, but I didn't trust the moves where we are right now with all the macros and the fundamentals. So the fundamentalist in me prevailed, while the analyst was just watching. However, we still have to correct, and there will be plenty of moves to be made here. That's it. That's it from me. I'll be posting. I've posted these already. I'll be posting later around 3 p.m. 3 p.m. will be a big UK time. Will be a big time because it's also the start of the New York session. So it's half an hour into the New York session, and we'll have that half an hour start. Again, if you're not in a trade before the news that you need to manage, wait for the news, wait for 3:30, and after 3:30, look where the charts are and check for a position. If it is the turn down for correction, it will give you a retracement and you can get in. And if you are in a trade before the news, please put a stop loss on it, because the news can be very, very bring a lot of volatility to the charts. That's it. I'll keep you guys posted around that time. That's what I want to say in case you don't see anything posted. It's the same charts that I've posted last night. Nothing has changed since. We need to see how the consumer sentiment, because I always call it consumer confidence. Consumer sentiment news is. And again, I will be looking these days. I will be looking for a short. I will be looking for a short, just to let you know my personal position. I will be looking for a short. I'm looking for a spike up, because New York loves its higher spikes, and then I'll wait for the 1 hour to settle, put a fib on the way I did yesterday, and let the short entry go in, and put a tight stop loss above the previous peak, because it's either the peak or it's not. And if it's not, I'll rather wait and pay 5%, or yesterday there was a little bit more because it was bigger volatility, it was 15%, but it was still great risk-reward ratio percentages. So that's it for me. I will be checking in with you later on the charts, and I'll see you on Monday morning for the trade setups for the next week. Let's see how this week goes.